a whole new adventure. We are looking at this old beast. This is a, I believe, 64 Dodge Polara. A guy I've known for a really long time showed me this car on his property, and it just looked too freaking cool. I'm gonna end up buying it now because I couldn't resist. This car is just too freaking cool. And he showed me around. It's got all 4 original hubcaps. It's got, I don't know what motor is in it. It's at least a 318. I don't know if it's any bigger than that. It's probably a 318. I mean, it's been sitting outside for 20 plus years, I'm pretty sure. And the tires are, they're definitely a little dry rotted, but I think they could hold air for at least a little bit. But it's a pretty cool looking car. He said the gas tank was rusted out, which is this tank. But it doesn't look that bad. I'm looking inside. I mean, I see dirt, but I don't really see rust. But yeah, I mean, now one bad thing about it is the floorboard is basically gone. If you lift up this here pad, you'll see that you'll see the ground. The good thing is the frame is, the frame's still solid. It's just, the actual sheet metal for the floorboard is no longer particularly existent. It's got the push button operated automatic in it, which is pretty freaking neat. Looking at this car, that was the first time that I knew that pre-2000s cars or pre-90s cars ever had a push button operated automatic. I thought that was only a modern car thing. Never knew that 60s cars had them. So that's pretty neat. I brought some basic supplies today to see if we can get that motor to pop off. I did not bring sandpaper. Really wish I would have. Well, my phone overheated mid-talk, but while I was waiting for it to cool down, I went ahead and cut down a bunch of limbs that were hanging over the hood and literally covering the whole driver's side of the car. So, now that we can get a good look at it, body panels are completely straight except for one spot. A little dent right there in front of the front driver's side wheel. And I guess there was supposed to be some trim here. Yeah, because it broke off right there. Now, this hood opens kind of weird. There's a separate latch just for popping it, and then there's a latch to unlock it open. So yeah, there's a motor in here that literally fills up the entire engine bay. That's why I thought it was a big block, but I guess the 318s just look like this. But it literally fills up this whole engine bay. God, I can't even imagine what it'd be like to have to do exhaust manifolds. But yeah, I've got an ignition coil, distributor for a 98 Chevy. And there's a whopping 2-barrel carburetor. So yeah, the previous guy, he rigged up this like custom thing here to feed fuel into it. But I completely forgot. Oh yeah, I was gonna get a Crescent because he said he redid the brakes. But I want to get this small Crescent, just see if there's any fluid in that reservoir. which even a vehicle that's been sitting for 30 plus years, even if he did do the brakes in it, there's a good chance that the brakes are no longer braking. Alright, see if we can get this to, there's a fly spider right there. Those are okay though. Those are like the dogs of spiders. I'll tell you one thing, the bolt's dry. That's a good sign. The cap is seized to the master cylinder. Oh my god. Okay, there we go. Bone dry. Do not press that brake pedal. Okay. Yeah, I did not bring brake fluid, I don't think. That was really smart of me. I should have brought some, like, even if I don't even try to use the brakes, I still should have brought some to pour in it. That way it could have time to soak in there and maybe not destroy the seals when I try to press the pedal. I got a 3478 Conti Crapple to put in here. I left it on the charger for like 3 hours before I brought it here, but I don't know if it's any good. It was kind of questionable in the previous truck I had it in, but I guess we're about to find out. And no, I am not hooking that up backwards. For some reason, they put the freaking ground cable as red, and the positive is black. Okay, my phone is not cooperating with me at all, but I'm gonna have to use a different source of recording with lesser quality, but just pretend you're watching a revival from like freaking 2012. I got the battery hooked up, so we're gonna see if we have any signs of the flow of electrons. With ants all over this car. Get out. God, I should have brought a leaf blower. Alright. Turn over to accessories. Nothing. Nothing. Lights, maybe? We have lights. Oh, look! Look at that! That's pretty neat. Alright. I'm not gonna actually try to like start it or turn it over. I'm just gonna see if the starter just kicks in. No, but it will. No, but it will. This is park. Oh. That bad boy's in park. That battery's probably literally just dead. Man, that's a good battery. That's a good battery. That's the best battery I've ever seen. That battery? Let me tell you something about that battery. It is good. I guarantee you it's not a... I can pretty much guarantee you it's not a contact issue. I bet the battery is just junk. I brought a really good battery. I brought a really good battery over here. Well, I'm probably gonna have to run to the house and get a few more supplies. I don't really want to turn this motor over because there is a bunch of leaves and crap in the top of that carburetor. I don't want to suck all that crap down, so do need to get like a friggin' leaf blower or something, come out here and blow all this crap out. And I also need to get some brake fluid to pour down there. I'm not going to try to actually use the brakes, but just let it sit and soak up in those seals and everything overnight. Alright, I'm back. Went and got the leaf blower, got something to eat real quick. And first thing I'm going to do before I work on this any further is I'm going to stuff a rag down that carburetor, put that cap back on the master cylinder so no debris gets in there, and I'm going to start blowing this thing off. That's better. It's not perfect, but it's better. With all the spider webs and everything out of this thing. That was kind of the main goal. Well, boy, it sure did drain that battery, because now it ain't doing nothing. Yeah, that battery's junk. Yeah, I can't really do much. I really need to get a new battery. That's the only spare battery I have. I don't have any extra batteries other than that one, so I need to get a new one. See if I can do that tomorrow. Let me get all my stuff loaded up here and head out for today and see if we can come back and fiddle with it again tomorrow. Third day working on this car. Brought the high quality camera this time. The old tuber. Oh, I forgot to bring something that can suck the crap out of the carburetor. I did get something that can blow the stuff out of the carburetor. I brought more supplies today. For one, I brought a brand new carburetor. And even though it was a brand new battery, I still took it to my workshop and left it on the charger for about 4 or 5 hours. That way I can make sure that it is well charged. This one's a Group 65 battery instead of that other one, which was a 3478 carburetor. So this one might, actually do some. All right, the car might actually turn over now. See what that amp meter does. Well, that's comforting. That's comforting. I'm gonna go out on a whim and say it just doesn't work. Oh my God. Oh my God. It still works. Oh my God, that sounds awful. Stop. That is crazy. Now, something I didn't try last time was the horn. No way. Come on. It still works. That is crazy. Okay. Now, big moment. Dude, that thing turned over easy. That thing turned over just so easy. Hold on. I can't see the fan from here. Dude, that thing turns over just fine. All right. Dude, horn works, radio tried. The friggin' air conditioning, well, the actual air conditioning ain't gonna work for sure. All that Freon's definitely gone. But the blower motor works, and if the blower motor works, that probably means the heater works, because the heater is just uses the antifreeze. It's hard for that to fail, so might have a working heater. And that spider just went zooming off into the distance around that compressor. Frick, I mean, I guess now we just take that distributor cap off and see if we can get spark out of it, because I guarantee it doesn't have spark. And get the crap out of that carburetor. Shoot some carb spray down the intake and see if it'll just pop off. I mean, this is amazing. Alright. First I want to see if these tires take air. I might have to dig some of these tires out before I try to do that though, because God, those front ones are buried. This is a car that's literally sat for like over 20 years, and it just, I mean, it practically started. It practically just started, I mean, honestly. Okay. I figured it out finally. Oh my God, it's taking air. I see it rising. That's 15 psi. That's it. It did it. There's the proof. It took air. Holy crap. That is crazy. Now, this front one over here might be different. Oh, the valve stem's in the dirt. I'm sure that's not going to be like completely rusted out, rotted, or anything. Yep, there it is. At least. Oh my God. So bad. This is so bad. This dirt is literally sand. I can dig it out with my hands. Oh, man. Oh, no. I don't know if it's going to take. I don't know if it's going to take. I'm going to try it, but I can't make any promises. We'll see. That is not 10 psi. There's no way. It's rising. I like that little jumper pack. I mean, it did all 4 wheels. I like it. I like it a lot. I'm gonna leave the switch on. That way we can run that fan. Let it cool off. Alright, got all 4 tires to take air, 15 to 26 psi. Heck yeah, that's awesome. Now, another supply I need to get. This. I got a can of air duster. I'm gonna try to use this to blow the stuff out of that carburetor. It's got really tiny nozzles, so I figured it'd do the job. Oh my God. Yeah, I just want to make sure that throttle is all the way shut. Alright, got that out of there. Now I know it's not going to have any spark, because sitting for multiple years, those points are definitely corroded, but I can't help myself. I gotta see. Let's find out the fun way, whether or not it has spark. Most definitely not. Most definitely not. Now, if you were listening, you might have noticed that while it was turning over, as it was turning over, there in one, half second it'd be higher pitch. It went. That means it's got a dead cylinder, which that is not necessarily, end of the world. It could come back around because that could just be stuck piston rings that are just, they're stuck. They've been sitting for a really long time and they get stuck kind of compressed, and then they let air by them, which, thus loses compression, and then that one cylinder, when it hits that one cylinder, it'll spin faster. So, it's not end of the world necessarily, but why is it, hold on, I've just noticed that there's oil on this plug. Why? There should never be oil inside of that. Yeah, get that, wipe that off. It's not supposed to be there. That could, that alone could get spark to not happen. That should never be a thing right there. There's oil inside of that. Is there oil on this? I don't think so. It doesn't really look like it. I'm sure there's gonna be a third one. No? Is there only two? There's only two. Okay. Look at the underside of the cap. Don't look too corroded, but we'll sandpaper the terminals anyway. Kind of let them snap back a few times. Then we'll turn the key on and we'll test to see if we have a spark. Okay, well, it's doing something, so I'm gonna call that spark. And get in here. Sand these contacts a little bit. There we go. And put this coil wire back on. And we're gonna hope that it does something. All right. Contact. Holy crap. It started. It started. I gotta do that again. I gotta do that again. Need to take the friggin' choke off. That probably ain't helping a whole lot. All right. All right. It certainly tried. Okay. Sorry, I was too excited and I ran it some more off camera and figured out a few things. It's making a metal grindy sound, which I figured out is the water pump. Put 2 gallons of coolant in it, ran it a little bit more, and the more I ran it, it started to clear up a little bit. Not the metal grindy sound is still doing that, but I'm talking about the engine running. It started to clear up a little bit and sounded like it was kind of, you know, gaining a couple cylinders here and there and starting to run a little bit smoother. And I got it to run off the bowl a little bit actually. And while I had it running off the bowl, I looked in the cab and we're building oil pressure as well. The oil pressure gauge was trying to go up, but I couldn't get it to run long enough to actually see how far up the gauge would go. But it did go past like a quarter of the way. I thought it didn't have an oil pressure gauge, but I was wrong. So did that, and honestly I called that good enough for tonight. I'm going to load the battery back up in the pickup, take it back to the workshop, let it charge overnight. It's a good thing to let a vehicle that's been sitting for a really long time like this, it's a good thing to run it a little bit for the first time and then quit, let it sit overnight, because that'll let it go through a really good heat cycle. You run it for a while, then you stop, let it cool down overnight, and then come back in the morning and try again, because that'll put it through a really good heat cycle. And I might get some of those rings, piston rings that have been, you know, stuck or jammed to, you know, pop out and go back to their right position. So we'll come back in the morning again, fill with this some more, and see how it does then. And back again. Is the lens still zoomed in? I thought that looked a little zoomed in. Well, back again to do some more work. Did the tires hold? At the right side. Holy crap, hold on. The tires actually held air overnight. Sweet. It'd be cool if these were old bias plies, but they're not. They are white ring tires, so that's still pretty cool. So, goals for today. I want to see if I can get a makeshift fuel system in this. You know, pull a freaking junkyard digs or something and just put a tank in the passenger seat, run a fuel line into it, and then have it pump from that. If the fuel pump works, hopefully it does. And see if we can get it running under its own power without having to be constantly fed down the intake. And if we can do that, throw some ATF in the transmission and see if it'll try to drive. I mean, not much left to do other than that, so. Oh, did I get the battery out of my workshop? Oh my God. Jesus, I gotta go all the way back to the house for that. I'll be back. Alright, came back with the battery. So now, every time I open the hood, something slides down and falls off of it. This tree is just like constantly shedding on it. Let's check the brake fluid level today. I don't know if I recorded it or left it in editing, But yesterday before I left, I checked this, and you know, because on the first day I poured fluid in it so it would soak overnight, and yesterday before I left I checked this and it was all gone. All the fluid drained out of it, and it did again. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a very bad thing. Or a very bad thing. Could be a very bad thing, but it could be gravity bleeding and it's just filling up all the brake lines, or it could literally just all be dumping out on the ground. But I'm gonna fill it up again to the top. Let's see what it does. The big thing today is seeing if we can get this car to run on its own fuel. That's the big thing today. And then seeing if the transmission works is kind of a side quest. I think this battery is leaking acid out of the literally brand new battery. Literally a brand new battery. I know I didn't put anything in the carburetor, but see if it'll, you know, pop. It turns over better than it did. It's still got that one cylinder that's still dead, but it freaking popped off. So, and today I actually brought gasoline, not just carburetor cleaner. So I brought 4 gallons of it. So let's see if we can make something happen with that. And I put the gasoline in this bottle because it's got a narrow nozzle on it that is big enough for me to at least try to fill the bowl. Okay, the bowl is full. Let's see what it does. It's running. That thing sure does shake a lot. Heck yeah, dude. That thing wanted to go. Wow. You probably couldn't hear it as good from up front where you were, but I was in the cab and that exhaust sounded awesome. I'm gonna fill it up again and let you hear it out of the exhaust. All right, well, on that beautiful note, we're gonna skip straight to trying to get a fuel system that'll work. So what we need to have a working fuel system is we have to have some sort of fuel tank, which I do have, which is going to be a regular 5-gallon gas can that's going to sit in the passenger seat. And we need a hose running from it to the inlet side of the fuel pump and then have a hose running from the outlet side of the fuel pump to the carburetor, and we're gonna put a fuel filter in front of it, because we would hate to just inject a bunch of crap into our perfectly good, brand new, just got from the factory crate motor. So let's start with that. So first we need to find the fuel pump. Well, I've come to the conclusion that the fuel pump no dooey. So we're gonna skip straight to the last step that I had planned for today and throw some ATF in that transmission, run in neutral for a little bit to run that pump, because I think on Chryslers you have to run it in neutral first to run the pump. That's what I've been told. I don't know if that's true, but I'm gonna do it just to be safe, so I don't try to run that transmission dry. And freaking see if it'll drive. Hopefully I can get it running off the bowl long enough to do that, but certainly gonna try. It won't take but a few seconds to find out if it'll just move in a reversely or forwardly direction, so let's do it. I'm just gonna skip straight to the part where I already filled up the ATF because I don't feel like recording that. It is actually the next day. Previous guy came out here and I talked to him for a few hours, and by the time I got done talking, it was dark. But and I'm still wearing the same shirt. Whatever, sue me, I don't care. But I just filled it up with ATF, and I might have put way too much in there, but you know what? I would rather run too much fluid than run it completely bone dry and burn up the transmission. So we're going to start it. Well, I got to prime the bowl first. We're going to prime the bowl. We're going to start it. We're going to let it run in neutral for a little bit. And that might actually bring the fluid level down a little bit. So, and we'll throw it in gear and see if it tries to move. And the tires are still aired up from when I aired them up. So, let's get to it. Alright, let's prime the bowl. First I'm just gonna run it in neutral. I'm not gonna try to drive it, I'm just gonna let it run in neutral, run the fuel out of the bowl till it dies. Then I'll prime it again, and then we'll see if it moves. I just want to make sure that the fluid has pumped through plenty good enough before we even attempt to try to drive it. I forgot. Did the choke come on again? Yep, sure did. I'm happy about that though, because I was like, oh my god, it's not wanting to run now. All right. Oh my god. It took all of it. Oh my god. Look. Okay. So, when I filled it up, I had a gallon of ATF with me, and I literally, I was like, guys, screw it. I just dumped the whole thing in there. And it was up here on the dipstick. I mean, it was way above full. And I was like, well, that might be bad. But after just running it just now and throwing it in neutral, let me show you where, because now it's run down the dipstick and it was literally like right here. All up here was bone dry. It just inhaled that gallon of ATF. Yeesh. I need to get more than that. I don't want to burn up the transmission. I don't know if Dodges were that bad back then, but we know how 90s and early 2000s automatic Dodge transmissions are. And if this is anything like those, it's gonna need all the help it can get. Okay, got a whole another gallon. See where that gets us. Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't too ambitious and just went straight to, you know, let's just throw it in gear and try to drive it. It did. It tried to drive. Oh, that was crazy. Okay, so I couldn't get it out of gear. Because those buttons, which I assume those buttons are hooked to linkages, it's not electronic. And those buttons are hooked to a bunch of linkages, and those linkages were like, you know, they've been sitting for a long time, they were kind of stuck. And I tried to hit the reverse button, and it did nothing, it just stayed in neutral. And then I went for drive, and it tried to drive forward, and I tried to hit neutral, and it would not come out of gear. I was sitting there hitting neutral, it wouldn't come out of gear. So I just slammed down that park lever, and that releases all the gears, so it got it out of gear. And then I hit reverse again, I hit it a little harder, and to try to get that linkage unstuck, and it went into reverse. But then I couldn't get out of reverse. Oh, if I get it, I kind of want to see if it'll drive out of its hole. I don't know if it will though. This thing is so buried. But I kind of want to try. Let's find out. Moment of truth. The hole might be too deep. Oh, it gets so hot in that cab. Yeah, that hole might be a little too deep. And I really don't want to burn up that transmission before I even get a chance to get it on the road. Yeah, that might be just a little too much. I'll fiddle with it a little more. See, maybe I can drive it forward, drive it back, drive it forward. If I can get enough, like, you know, inertia built up, it might will be able to do it. It jolts it too hard, it bogs the engine down. end up screwing up that transmission doing that. Dang it, man. It's just too buried. I'm gonna try to dig this out a little bit to where it's not as steep. And maybe we can still get it to drive out. Luckily, this dirt is super sandy. Okay, that's a more gradual climb. Well, I got it to where it's not as deep of a, or steep rather, of a hole, so maybe you'll be able to push itself through. Right back in. It did! Wow, something was living underneath this thing. Oh my God. Look at the absolute cave that was dug under this car. Look at that. Dude, the amount of spiders that are in there. Look, there's a big old wolf spider right there. And there's a lot of daddy longlegs spiders right there. Wow. Spider and ant haven under this car. Wow. Wow. Well, that's awesome. It actually drove itself out. Heck yeah. All right, well, I'm gonna fill the bowl some more. And yeah, just spill it literally everywhere. It's fine. And we're gonna drive this thing around the yard a little bit. For as long as I can. All right. Which, remember, we have no form of brakes. All right, throw that boy and drive. Oh my God, we're going. Does this have power steering? Holy crap, we're doing it. I think it has power steering. This is so easy to turn. How does it not run out of fuel? Oh, ran out then. Oh, it definitely has power steering. Man, we're gonna coast for a while. Park works. Hey, we did it. It's a good car. It's even got power steering, which I did not know. Wow. Man, I just like this car more and more. Well, guys, I think that's actually a pretty good place to wrap this up. We did all of the goals that I wanted to meet. Got spark in it, aired up the tires and they all held air, and got it running okay. Made sure the transmission worked, and the transmission worked, and we drove it out of its grave. I mean, It don't get much better than that. So I think I'll probably end up doing another video of, you know, actually trying to get it running reliably, running good, and getting the brakes fixed, you know, actually making it a good car. But that'll be for another day. So hopefully you enjoyed watching, and if you did, I'm happy for you. And on that note, I hope you guys all have a good day, and I'll see you later.